including previous consultant, operations manager, and design architect. In the last 8 years with the Toastmaster Association, she has served at various positions at the club level, at the area level, district and the division and the district. She has also served as club sponsor for 2 clubs and club mentor for 3 clubs. She is the current logistics manager for District 120, and she is the incoming CGD elect for District 120. So there is a lot more to give introductions about her. I hope this is brief, and I would now welcome Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster Gayatri to give her education session on average of 5. Average of 5, DTM Gayatri, average of 5. Over to you, the stage is yours. DTM Gayatri, you are on mute. Yes.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Bharani Kumar. Okay, I'll start with a trivia question. Do you see this candy jar in front of you? So how many candies do you think would be there in the jar?
Few hundreds.
Okay.
50.
So 50? There is an interesting trivia about this. I think you might have come across this kind of candy jar being placed in fairs and where people gather. And people are asked to write the number that they guess, and whoever is the closest would win a prize, right? So there was an experiment conducted around this, and they found that more often, okay, the number of the people will predict different numbers. There will be very varied numbers. Somebody may say 50, somebody may say 500. But then when they average it out, there is only a 3% difference from the actual number. So the average is always right. So there is something that they say wisdom of the crowd. So when people get together, there may be people thinking from very different perspectives. But when they get together and think on something, it is more likely to be correct. That is how it is. So there is a documentary on Netflix. If you like, you can go and see that. It's very interesting. Average works in a very different way, something that we cannot actually understand how this actually happens, but that is the truth. So we can start with understanding that though it is beyond our logical comprehension that we can come to, but that is how average works. Now there is another trivia. So I think many of you are married here, right? Or at least you have a person whom you would have thought as your life partner at some point of time. Now think of that person. What research says is that person is very likely to be somebody whom you kind of adored during your childhood days. So rather than finding somebody very different or somebody very exciting, that's what we generally feel, right? If we meet somebody who is like very exciting, new to explore, learn a lot from, that is what we think would excite us in our partner or person whom we want to be with. But what the research says is uh, it is very likely to be a person who has a lot of characteristics which are familiar to you. So if you think, many husbands would tell their wife that you are just like my mom, and girls also subconsciously look for a character like their father, or the person who looked very majestic for them in front of them during their childhood days. So rather than somebody who we want to try out something new, it is actually back to our comfort that we actually look for. So the way our mind works is more ununderstandable because it is all subconscious decisions that is beyond our understanding. Now, coming to a very trivial question, I think I was very surprised because many people also touched upon this question at various points in your speeches, right? From icebreaker to your table topics. Who are you is a question that we all keep thinking, right? I mean, what am I doing in this life? Who am I? What am I supposed to do? These are questions that are very core. And I think because of pandemic, most of us would have come across this question at one point, right? Because we have a lot of time for ourselves, we don't know much to do. So it could be a question that we would be asking ourselves in despair or out of joy. But this is one question that we cannot really find a specific answer saying, okay, this is what I am. If you have figured that out, and if you are unable to, I mean, if you are not changing that answer in a recent time, then it is really great. But then more often it is very difficult to find an answer to this question. So the answer to this question seems to be in the trivias that we spoke about. We are the average of the 5 people whom we spend the most time with. So it is not about where we were born, or the kind of school we go to, the kind of colleges. If you see, there are very different kind of people who come out at every point of time. So what we become depends a lot on who we are with for a lot of time. So especially because we are all confined to our homes, now our average of 5, no, this becomes very difficult, because most of the time you spend time with your mom, dad, your husband, your children, and they are kind of going to be thinking very much like you. So this is a very dangerous and a risky place to be with unless we explore something beyond. So people spoke about stress and mental fatigue. So why this happens is because we are kind of confined to the same set of people. So your parents or your children are very much going to think much like you. So this is going to get you into a very circular kind of thing, where if you are depressed, they are also probably going to be depressed about a similar thing. So how do we increase our average 5 is a question that we would be able to that would be able to help us overcome all these fatigue and challenges that we have. And it would also help us to become who we want to be. So who you are is something that you may be proud of, you may be happy about, or more often you may not be very satisfied about. You may be okay, I mean, you may think, okay, I'm not a very bad person, I'm not in a very bad state. From where I was today, I seem to be in a very different place. But then this is not where I want to be. This is probably a answer that most of us may feel like. So how do we ensure that we become who we want to be? Of course, there are tools that are beyond this average 5, which is like the books we read, the courses we sign up to, and probably the rituals that we get into, the things that we do on a regular basis. But if you see, those are also extension of average of 5. Instead of average 5 people, it could be average 5 habits, average 5 books. So it is not just one thing that is going to influence us. So there are 3 things that actually create us: the people we meet, the books we read, the routine we follow. It's not about randomly signing up for a gym and then giving up in a week. Again, that may be a pattern. So if you're a person who has signed up for a gym and just let it go in a month or two, then it is very likely that you would also you would have let go of other things also in a similar way. It could be your course that you signed up, it could be the relationship that you committed into. So we are kind of into a pattern, and it is possible for us to tweak this pattern with the set of people whom we choose to interact on a regular basis. Now, for me, all this gyan or realization did not come very early in life. Uh, so like many, when we realize this, we go back and check, okay, did this happen earlier in my life? And one of the incidents that I could relate to was when I was in my 10th standard. Until then I was a very average student, so I used to get about 60-70% in my studies. My parents were also quite happy. Until you pass, we are fine kind of parents they were. So but suddenly in 10th standard, I got somewhere around 85%. All of us were overjoyed. So we probably thought we were in the wrong school. They were rating us low. So my parents suggested that I go to a different school. And I was a very happy person in my previous school. No stress, just study when you can study. They were letting us do a lot of other things. But this new school was very focused. They were famous for the number of centums that they receive every year in 12th standard. So they will advertise like 40 centums in maths, 59 centums in physics. So we thought that's the best school, and they signed me up there. And I had the two most stressful years of my school life in that school. But what happened was, the school topper of my previous school, after 12th, only a couple of them entered the engineering college. Remaining everybody entered arts college. And in this school, I was in one of the bottom half, actually. I was not in the top half. I was never so studious to go and get centums after centums. But still, though I was in the bottom half, I was actually, I scored higher than 10th, probably because of the people, the culture that was followed again. And I signed up for engineering, and I saw that my peers in that school, they did not go for engineering. If I was there, I would have again gone for an arts college. I'm not belittling this here. For me, engineering was a more challenging aspiration. I would have never thought of it if I had not gone to the other school. So if you think back, maybe many of your life decisions were also dependent on the number of or the people who were around you. So uh, to me, all this was unconscious. So whatever has happened was without our consciousness, but that is how it works. So after I joined Toastmasters, I had this opportunity to interact with a very different set of people. To me, that was the most exciting part. Because I was able to talk to a CEO, sit on a table and speak, or I was able to talk to a college student and rag that person and understand what their thought process is, what are the latest trends, what is it that they do. So all these kind of excited me. But after a period of time, I realized that when you surround yourself with people who are very, very different from you, uh, whom you don't get to meet on a regular basis. So if you see, leave Toastmasters aside, you would probably be waking up and interacting with your family, and you will go to office in a typical non-pandemic situation. Again, you will interact with your colleagues who are also very similar to you for the next 8 hours. Again, come back. Then maybe one or two calls that you make to people who are outside of this circle in a week, right? It's not going to be even in a daily basis that you speak with your college friend or school friend. I don't think we get to maintain that kind of relationship with them. So in a Toastmaster club, right? Even if you take community club like Wake Up, you meet varied set of people. You meet a data scientist, you meet a college student, you meet a fresher, and you get to speak with them on something. But eventually, you realize that subconsciously there are certain habits that they follow that you get to adapt in a due course of time. But again, this is also going to be the same routine for you in a period of time. It's not going to be for a longer period. So what do? You go outside of the club. So one of the best part of pandemic is, if you see, in pandemic everything is confined. Like, you cannot go to office, you cannot go outside, you cannot meet your friends, but you can meet lot of Toastmasters. That's the best part. Only because of pandemic you can connect with the Toastmasters club outside of India. You can bring in an international speaker for a club meeting. All this is possible. So this is the best part of Toastmasters. So I used to tell people that if you think Toastmasters is a platform that happens within the four walls of this meeting room, then I would say you don't have to pay the TMI fees, because you can very well convene all these 20 of you. You can do the same table topic, prepared speech, and evaluation. You can keep doing it with each other. You don't have to pay TMI for this at all. But what is the speciality of Toastmasters is that you get to do something beyond this. You can connect with clubs all across the world. You can connect with people whom you want to be, whom you want to become like, whom you can otherwise not access at all. So first time when I stepped out of the club, I started seeing that, okay, so this person is senior manager. Why don't I speak with him and understand my strengths and weakness? And then surprisingly, in Toastmasters you get to meet people who you don't even think would come and talk to you, right? So I still remember there was one person who came all the way from Bangalore. He was a region advisor at that time. And I was the president of the club. He came to give an award. He was there for about half an hour or so. But after a week, he pinged me and he said, "These are your strengths. These are the areas that you have to work upon." And I was taken aback. He owns a coffee estate, so he owns a coffee brand, and I didn't realize that somebody like that would come and tell me, this is what you can do and this is what you can become. So, and I was asking him, how did you observe this in just a span of hardly half an hour's time? And he said, my strength is I can see people and I can immediately understand their thought process, and I see that you could do much beyond. So I was just a president. I was not even thinking of taking up area director at that time. And he said, next year you should apply for area director. And you know what? Guess what? When I applied for CGD, the minute after I nominated, the first person I called was this person. I said, I've done this. What should I do? And he was like, I'm not from your district. What do you think will help you from me? And I said, districts are different, but people are same. But surprisingly, he knew a lot of things. He knew a lot about my competitors. He knew how election happens in our district. And he said, this is what you should do. This is what you should not do. So this kind of mentoring cannot happen in any other place. I don't think there is, I mean, there are so many people out there who care as much as Toastmasters. So take your mentor. I'm very sure that person would be spending so much of time with you. And I mean, that is a care that you get in Toastmasters. So in Toastmasters, you get to expand your average five. And the best part is you can choose who you want to be. Uh, so if you want to become, say, if you want to go in your career, grow in your career, visit such corporate clubs, befriend with those people, but be very genuine. If you're particularly looking for career guidance, or you want to I mean, shift your office to their office, tell them this is what I'm looking for. Would you be happy to work with me for some time? And or if you just want casual I mean, conversations, you think this person may be very intelligent, and then you connect with them. So to me, the best part of Toastmasters is not about communication or leadership. It is this ability to connect with people who we want to be, and then slowly become that and imbibe that into us and then take it forward. So I will leave you all with one thought. uh, who you are tomorrow begins with what you do today, right? I think, I mean, it's not a new quote or something that I've invented, but I just want to remind you that whatever you are today, it doesn't matter. Just see what you want to be tomorrow and do something for that today. And I believe that Toastmasters gives you a beautiful opportunity where you can connect with anybody. You want to shift to Canada, find a Toastmasters club in Canada, connect with them, talk with them, and then do whatever you have to. You want to become a CEO of a company, there are so many CEOs in Toastmasters. It's flooded with CEOs, I would say. You just have to find the right sort of person and talk to them. You want a career guidance, you want to speak better, find that person who is already be able to do that. One word of caution is, don't expect them to be good at everything. Be clear on what you're looking at that person, and then, I mean, be with that person only for that. Don't expect that person to be I mean, morally, ethically, legally right. No, that's not going to happen. Look for that one thing that you're looking for and work with that person on that. And I believe that will give you a lot of excitement, and utilize this opportunity of online platform, and connect with as many people as you want, and create that average five and keep reviving that average five, so that you become a better person, and you become who you want to be. This is what I wanted to share with you all. See, one last thing that I want to say was, when this club was formed, Wake Up Toastmasters was formed, I've been very curious to visit the club, because mornings are very exciting for me. Waking up early and doing something that you like is going to make your day beautiful. But reside in Crompet. The club is in Velachery. It's not very far. Still, I've never been able to make it. But thanks to COVID and pandemic and this online meeting, I saw how energetic this crowd is, and how intelligent the crowd is. That's what I would say. I mean, every prepared speech, every table topic kind of resonates your personality. And I saw very, very great things being discussed here. It's not, you don't speak about anything very normal here, right from mind mapping to even the icebreaker he spoke was very thought provoking. So, it's very nice to see that bunch of intelligent people speaking great things early in the morning. So, to me today, my day is done. I'm very sure I'm going to be very energetic. I wish that you all find so many energetic days and may get to meet a lot of such energetic people and improve your average 5 and become whoever you want to be. On that note, let me pass it back to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, DTM Gayatri, for a wonderful education session on average of 5.